All right, welcome back. Our GMC Sierra tweet of the night, X of the night, comes from the Pitt Panthers. It's about Deion Hayes, who was outstanding in that win against Boston College the other day. 6 tackles, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for losses. He is the ACC Defensive Player of the Week, and Pitt will round out its schedule at home, actually on the road against Duke on Saturday, and that'll be it. No bowl game for them. The biggest game of the weekend, of course, is number 2, Ohio State against number 3, Michigan. Real quick to dive into that here before we go to the phone lines. Do you see Ohio State taking down Michigan? I like Michigan in this game. I do for a lot of reasons, although they won't have Harbaugh there. How much of a difference does that make, and how do you see it playing out?
I still think Michigan's got a better quarterback, J.J. McCarthy to McCord. So even without Harbaugh and this late scare from Maryland, I do favor Michigan. I think overall Ohio State's probably played better football over the last month, but this is a different animal. It's on the road in the big house. They haven't won in this rivalry in 2 years. So I do favor Michigan, even though I think Harbaugh's a really good coach. So the defense of Michigan, I think, ultimately will make enough plays. And we'll see McCarthy and Corum and Edwards and those guys in the Michigan backfield, I think, make enough plays to get Michigan undefeated and into the college football playoff, Bob, at which point Jim Harbaugh is going to be allowed to coach again. So how about that?
Yeah, he is. Although the NCAA says not so fast. We may have a suspension for all of next year. We'll get into that much later if that ever happens. I doubt, but we'll see. Our number 1 Cochrane Go One Better call of the night is Paul in Crafton. He begins us off here tonight. Paul, how are you?
Hi, Paul.
Good. I have a couple questions. First of all, we need a new punter. Second of all, the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, why wasn't they running the ball? They passed it 3 times in a row. I mean, Warren was running the heck out of him, strong-arming the Cleveland Browns, you know what I mean?
He wasn't even on the field. And so, Paul, you're right about that. I didn't understand that. And when Mike Tomlin has his press conference tomorrow, I'm sure he'll be asked about it. I know we will ask him about it in the show that we do. I'm just curious, you know, it's one thing to be aggressive, but at that juncture of the game, when they hadn't been aggressive all year or all game, all of a sudden they're throwing on 3 downs, knowing that they are doing Cleveland a favor and stopping the clock. They couldn't use their timeouts. They didn't force them to use their timeouts. They didn't do anything other than give them the ball with 1:28 left. That was a very difficult thing to watch, and it led to their demise.
They were hyper aggressive there, super aggressive, but then the possession before, when they had the ball at Cleveland's 40-yard line, they went Najee pass, Najee run for -5 yards. And then on 3rd and 15, they didn't even attempt to get the first down. They just checked it down. So why the conservativeness there when you're probably just a few yards away from a first down, or for a field goal attempt, I should say. And then when you're backed up at your own 17 with 1:40 left, you throw caution to the wind. I didn't have a problem with the first down play to Johnson. He's got to make that catch. It's an easy out route that picks up a few yards, and it gets you into second and manageable. It's the deep ball to Johnson with nobody there. When those two guys were not on the same page the entire game, Bob, Trubisky said that today. So why are the last 3 offensive plays of the game going to Deontay Johnson when him and his quarterback didn't seem to be in sync with each other the entire afternoon?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm going to give you credit for saying that Jaylen Warren is the better running back, or at least somebody who should get more takes. You've been saying this for a while. After what we've seen the last 3 weeks, I would find it hard to believe that he doesn't start in Cincinnati and he isn't used more than Najee Harris. And this isn't to say that they should just ignore Najee. That's not what I'm saying. But I think Jaylen Warren has put himself in a position that he should get more work. He is the more productive runner.
And I think Najee embarrassed himself after the game. He's cursing. He's swearing, talking about the team. You know, when they lost to Houston and got blown out, Bob, but he had a good game, you notice he said, don't pick on the play caller. It's not about the play calling at all. And then when it looks like Jaylen Warren is ready to take that job away from him, he's saying we need to have team meetings. This isn't going to work. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. That's not leadership at all. That's the exact opposite of that, as a matter of fact. He was asked, are there me-first guys on this team? He didn't have an answer. He sounded like one after the game, whereas Jaylen Warren said, I'm just going to do what the coaches tell me. I'm going to keep my head down and keep working.
Right.
That's a guy you want to be out there with in critical moments. Jaylen Warren was undrafted, but he is clearly the better running back, both on the field and off the field, in my opinion, right now with the Steelers.
And I think it's also a product of where they come from. Najee being a first-round pick, playing at Alabama, doing all that stuff. Tomlin immediately made him a captain. All of this, gives you a feeling that, okay, I'm the man here. Whereas Jaylen Warren, and there have been so many other running backs all over. Watching Isaiah Pacheco tonight with Kansas City, another guy who's just earning his keep. Jaylen Warren's in a position where he has to earn everything, and he has. So why stop? He should continue to get more takes here. Let's go to the lines here. We got Jim in where are you, Jim? Greene County or Greensburg, or both?
Greene County.
County, okay. My eyesight's not very good, so I'm looking at this and struggling, but go ahead.
Yes, I think we ought to just get rid of Canada, keep Kenny Pickett throwing the ball long, and let Warren keep running the ball, and next year draft a quarterback that have 3 young quarterbacks and they're competing against each other.
Yeah, I think at the end of the season, if it continues to trend in this direction, and let's say they don't make the playoffs, or if they do and lose quickly, Andrew, I think they're going to have to really come to a conclusion that they need to change this entire offensive approach, and the quarterback room would be very different looking maybe in a year from now.
Well, yeah, because Mason Rudolph's on a 1-year deal, so that does open up one chair in there at the very least. They did give Trubisky an extension, and we know Kenny's got at least 2 more years on his contract, but he's not making a ton of money.
We got to take a break here, Andrew. We have Rich, Tony, Carl, and Darlene. We'll try to get as many in as we can. Next, right here on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. It's 7 nights a week on KDKA+.